Hey Warriors, it's your coach, Paulina, and today I have a full body mobility routine that you can either do before a workout, after a workout, or even on your rest day. The focus of this mobility routine is to take it joint by joint, so starting from the top all the way to the bottom, and making sure that we're connecting our breath to our body, opening up our joints, and really elongating our muscles while we're at it. So let's go ahead and get started. You're going to stand tall, relax your shoulders, relax your fingers and toes. We're going to start with the neck joint. So first, I'm going to have you look all the way to your right side, and then all the way to the left, just from side to side. Here, I'm going to have you notice any tension. Maybe your left side is tighter than the right, or vice versa. Go ahead and bring it to center. Next, you're going to bring your ear to your shoulder. And connect your breath to your movement. So big inhale as you reach, and exhale as you bring it to center. Good. Let's go ahead and just do one more in each direction. Good. Last one. Lastly, we're going to reach up, leading with your chin, looking all the way up towards the ceiling. Exhale, reach your chin to your chest. Good. One more in each direction. Good. Next, going a little bit more fluid, bringing in some mobility and movement into your neck joint. We're going to create a big circle on your right side first. So you're going to bring your chin to your chest. You're going to think about scraping your chin across your collarbone and then bringing your ear to your shoulder as we move to the side. Extend and reach your gaze up towards the ceiling. And repeat towards the opposite side, ear to shoulder, chin scraping that collarbone, then bringing the chin back to the chest. Go ahead and do two more here on the right side, and then we will switch to the left. So no, your chin does not have to physically touch your collarbone. I'm just describing the pathway of initiating that big controlled circle from the get-go, that first movement. Good. Last rotation. And now go ahead and switch towards that left side. Big inhale as we start to create that big circle. And then an exhale as you bring it back to center. Good, you have one more. Nice work. After we brought some blood flow into your neck, let's go ahead and hold a static stretch. So we're going to start on the right side, picking up your arm. We're going to add a light tension or a light pull into a side neck stretch here. You're going to bring your ear to your shoulder and just try and relax. So I'm not adding too much tension here, just enough so I can feel a slight stretch, a slight tug into those trapped muscles. Good. Give me one more belly breath, big inhale. And exhale. Good. Bring it back to center. Let's switch. 3 belly breaths. And bring it back to center. All right. Take some breaths here. Kind of tap into your body. See how your neck is feeling after we did a little bit of mobility work there. So next, let's go ahead and move on into the shoulders. So with the shoulders, let's start in a T position. And we're gonna go into an internal and external rotation of just that shoulder joint as the elbows and wrists move along with it. So my right arm is gonna open up towards the ceiling, and then my left arm is going to rotate towards the ground. So big rotation. Think about wringing out a towel and switching sides. Feel free to pause once you hit your end range of motion. Good, last one on each side. Nice work, good. Next, you're gonna meet your hands right at your thighs or pretend like these are low pockets. And next, we're gonna go into rotations of just your shoulders. So, first, you're gonna think about shrugging, so lifting your shoulders up towards your ears as far as you can go without moving the rest of your body and without bringing your hands off of the legs or bringing them forwards or backwards. They just stay at your sides. So first, shrug. Then next, we're gonna pull those shoulders down and away from the ears. And finally, you're gonna push them forwards away from you. Then we repeat, shrug, down and away, push forwards. Good, shrug, down and away, push forwards, and bring it back up towards that shrug. Now we reverse, push forwards, pull down and away, and shrug. Two more, nice and controlled. Good, last one. Good, go ahead and shake it out. Next, we're gonna go into a controlled circle of your shoulder joint, starting off with your right arm. You're gonna stand nice and tall. We're gonna start in a crossbody position. Palm is facing forwards. Your elbow pit is also facing forwards. From here, you're gonna lift your arm up and overhead. We're gonna start to rotate from your shoulder joint. Big rotation, opening up, kind of like wringing out the towel like we did before in your T position. And you're gonna complete this big rotation of your circle. Good, once we hit your final position of your arm just being behind your body, you're gonna lift that arm up as far as you can until you can't anymore. And then we're gonna wring out that towel, bringing it back to center, palm towards neutral. And cross-body position, palm facing forward, elbow pit facing forwards. Cool, we're gonna do two more. Making sure the rest of your body is neutral. Treat these as relaxed, easy circles. We're working hard through that shoulder, but we're not necessarily breaking the sweat. Not yet. Nice job. So now we're gonna switch sides. I'm gonna face forward so you get a different angle here. So we start in that crossbody position. You're gonna lift your arm up and overhead. We're gonna rotate from your shoulder joint, wring out that towel. Good, bring that arm behind you. Lift. Find your sticking point, rotate. Bring it back to crossbody. Big circles, big rotations. Whew. Good, last repetition. Tap into your body, see if anything else is tensing up right now. If so, try and relax it. Good, and recover. So next, for a simple static stretch for your shoulders, we're gonna open out to a T, and I'm gonna have you think about opening up the chest. You're gonna pull those arms backwards, bring those shoulder blades together, keeping your rib cage down, And we're gonna hold here for 3 belly breaths. Good, spread those fingers wide, creating tension, opening up your shoulders. Good, last breath. Just giving you different angles here. Go ahead and shake it out. Cool. Next up is your mid-back. So what we're gonna start with is on the ground. I'm gonna have you move through a cat and cow, and then we're gonna go into a little bit of rotation. So meet me in an all-4 position. So already from the get-go, try and find your neutral spine. So you're already bringing breath into your low abdomen, low belly. And for cat and cow, feel free to either inhale in through the nose and then exhale through the nose, or inhale through the nose and exhale out through the mouth, depending on what your body needs today. So first for cow, from neutral spine, you're gonna start to drop that low belly towards the ground. We're gonna go vertebrae by vertebrae, opening up the heart, then bringing your gaze up towards the ceiling. I'm pushing my hands through the ground. My knees are also pushing through the ground. I feel nice and stable here. To reverse to cat, we start from the tailbone. So you're going to tuck your tail, then slowly, 1 vertebrae at a time, come up into an arching cat position. Finally, tucking that chin to the chest. Big exhale as you're doing so. We're gonna do 2 more just like so, starting with dropping that lower abdomen, belly towards the floor. 1 vertebrae at a time for cow. And cat. Last time for cow. And last time for cat. Good, take it back to child's pose for just a second before we come up again, going into a T-spine rotation. So if it's comfortable, you can either sit on your shins or you can come up to a full seated position. Just kind of listen to your body today. And we're gonna solely wake up the rotation of your mid-back. So usually with a lot of steel mace exercises or a lot of other exercises too, you'll see that mid-back getting loaded and really rotating through a lot of different movement. So from here, I'm gonna have you keep your hands in neutral. You're gonna rotate from your mid-back. Then you're gonna reach your arms out to a T with a big exhale. Inhale, bring it back to center. Exhale, reach. Keep this nice and controlled. One more each side. Good job. Go ahead and meet me in a child's pose position so we can statically help stretch out your mid-back and the rest of your spine. So toes come together, knees come out to about 45, and then slowly walk your hands out in front of you. To get the benefit of stretching out your back, I'm gonna have you really push your hands through the ground. You can set your forehead on the ground just for extra stability. And you're gonna take 3 deep belly breaths as you push your hands into the ground, getting a deep lat stretch, also allowing your spine to elongate as we hold. Good, 1 final breath. And slowly roll up. Great job. Next, we have our hip joint, which we can really do a lot for the hip joint to help open up a little bit. So the first thing that we're gonna do is a 90-90 hip opener. To get into position, you're going to think about stacking your spine and opening up your legs in a 90-degree angle from each knee joint. Perfect. If this at any point gets uncomfortable, you can always slightly elevate your body off the ground. You can have a folded mat underneath you, or if you have a block, that's also an option. So from here, I'm going to have you square your hips towards your front leg. So in this case, it's my right leg. And then I'm going to think about pushing my knees and my ankles through the ground as I slightly lean forwards into my front leg. So for now, we're just going to start with a static hold. So I'm going to have you slightly lean forwards, push through your knees and ankles, and we're going to hold here. 3 belly breaths. Big inhale. And a big active exhale. Great job. Next, you're going to stack your spine. We're going to place your hands behind your body, and as we switch over sides, just push your body weight towards the hands just to assist the switch. If you're not super flexible, that's a great way of switching and not loading the hips too much in that 90-90 position. So same thing on this opposite side. Stack your spine, square your hips towards that front leg. Knees and ankles are pushing through the ground. Slightly lean forwards, and now tap into your breath. We're going to do 3 inhales and exhales. Great job. Next, we can go into a little bit of mobility here. So as you keep your hands behind you, I'm going to have you windshield wipe in that 90-90 position. So what that means is we're just going to be moving from side to side. Heels stay glued into the ground, but the rest of your feet can come up. Then we're reaching those knees towards the ground. And if your windmill today looks a little bit shorter and smaller, that's also fine. You'll start to feel the inside, the internal part of your hips start to kind of wake up. Get some blood flow in there. Nice. Good, last 2. Good. Last but not least, let's go into a static stretch, so a little bit more deep within the hips. We're going to go into a frog position. So this position can be a little intense, so I'm going to give you different varieties to choose from. So the way that we can get into frog is you're going to come onto your forearms here, and then slowly you're going to open from the knees and then place your feet onto the ground. If this gets bothersome for the knees, feel free to stack a mat, fold it right underneath so you can feel just a little bit more cushion there. If you're ready, this is when we start to open and bring your hips a little bit closer towards the ground. To lessen the stretch, you can either come forwards or closen up the stance like I had first shown you. If you want to deepen the stretch, then you open just a little bit wider in that frog position, and then you shift your hips backwards. So I want you to go ahead and find your position. We're going to do 3 belly breaths here. Good, and slowly inch your feet and knees back to center. Great job. Go ahead and come into a seated position. We're going to work on a little bit of ankle mobility and warm-ups. So you're going to stay stacked in a seated position, almost like a cheerleader position, and we're going to hold on to our left leg first. So both hands can be stacked right below the knee, And we're just going to slightly elevate your foot off the ground so we have enough room to kind of work on our ankle mobility and movement. So we're going to take your foot, and I want you to visualize drawing a big circle with your toe. First, we're going to go clockwise. So to your right side, you're going to draw that big circle with your toe. So we go into a big point with your foot and a big flexed position as you move through your circle. The hands here can kind of help you not move the rest of your legs. So if you start to feel that, then create a smaller circle. Good. Once you've done 3 controlled circles, we're going to switch up the direction. So now we're going counterclockwise towards the left side. Toe comes down, toe comes up. So point, and then a flex position. Good. Last one. Woo woo. Woo. It's bringing a lot of blood flow there. Cool. All we got to do is switch sides now. Cheerleader sit. Grabbing onto right below the knee. We can start with whichever direction. We'll do 3. So I'm starting out towards that left side. So I guess that is counterclockwise. Woo. Good. If you do any sort of running, impactful movements like power movements, ankle health is really important. If you don't do anything, ankle health is very important also. Some of us are on our feet all day. Whew. So this is a great opener. You'll start to really feel those ankles wake up. Great job. While we're sitting here, we forgot to do some wrist stuff. So first, go ahead and take one hand. So we'll start with the left side. And same thing, I want you to visualize drawing a big circle with the tips of your fingers. Make sure your hand stays closed. Try not to curl your hand or kind of create force here. We're going to keep it open. Squeeze those fingers together. Palm facing up. Elbow is going to be at 90 degrees at your side. Opposite hand grabs on just for a little bit of stability. So let's go towards the right side. Let's go clockwise. You'll see my hand fully flexes and then comes up. Sorry, extends and then flexes. Good. So same thing as what we did with ankles, 3 in each direction. So once you've done clockwise, go into counterclockwise. Or if you get confused with that, just think right and left. I'm going to come up here a little bit more. Good. So once you've done the right or whichever side, go ahead and switch sides. So for my mace people, for my warriors, wrists are huge when it comes to first starting off, or if you're doing any sort of volume work. You might start to carry a lot of tension within the wrists, so just give them some extra love. Make sure you are practicing mobility over time. And incorporating a simple rotation like this in a warm-up or cool-down can make a big difference. Cool. Shake it out. Hopefully you've gone through 3 in each direction on each wrist. Next, we're going to go into a simple forearm and wrist stretch. So you're going to come up onto your knees, and your toes can be slightly tucked underneath. If that's uncomfortable, then just have your feet kind of flat. From here, your fingertips are spread wide, elbow pits are facing forwards, and then we're just going to lean forwards, hold for 3, 2, 1, and lean back to center to take a mini recovery. So you're going to do 3 total of these guys. Make sure you are breathing, so big inhale. Exhale, bring it back to neutral. and we'll do one more. Nice job. All right, next step, this one can get a little bit intense, so we're gonna put pressure on the front side of our wrists, so the rest of our fingers are gonna be facing our bodies. And instead of leaning forwards, we're gonna lean slightly backwards. So from here, big inhale, hold. Exhale, lean forwards to a stacked position. Inhale, come back, sink into those hips. Exhale, come back into your stacked position. All right, last one, inhale. We made it through my joint by joint mobility routine. I did take today a little bit slower than usual, just making sure you understood each exercise, making sure you're tapping into your breathing, and really paying attention to how your body is responding. If you're doing this routine on your own, feel free to either shave down the reps, increase the reps, and play around with your pacing. If you wanted to go slower than what we did today, that is great. If you wanted to pick up the speed just a tad, that would be awesome too. Really, it's just up to you and your body and paying attention to how you're feeling that day. So I hope to see you next time, and I hope you feel nice and recovered after today's flow.